27 parades, that's how many I did back then, and we hadn't done those 85 pancake breakfasts. Like maybe if I'd done 80, I wouldn't have won. That's how close it is. So everything you do matters in these next 50 days or so. So I just urge you to listen. You know the arguments. Anyone, if you haven't, just watch some of those speeches on YouTube, and you're going to have enough arguments that you can write everything down. You'll have 10 best arguments. That's all you need. But what you really have to do is get out there and personally persuade people. So there is just one thing standing between me and Dr. Jill Biden, and that is Zach, right? Where are you, Zach? Zach, you left me. Zach, who is the head of the Macalester Democrats, he's off doing better things. But I think he's going to be coming out with her, and I just want to thank you all for having me. I'm looking forward to seeing Jill Biden, but thank you for this great turnout, and let's go and win this election. Thank you.
Everybody fired up? Good afternoon. My name is Zach Avery, and I'm one of the co-chairs of MacDems. I'm a junior studying Geography and Urban Studies, and I'm also a Chuck Green Fellow, which provides academic and vocational training in community organizing. So President Obama was a community organizer, and I'm proud to say I am too. President Obama really inspires me because he urges me to take my own future into my own hands. He inspires people like me to take action and make our country into what we want it to be. That's why we're all here today. And that's one of the many reasons I'm proud to be here and to be volunteering for the president for his re-election. Because as students and young Americans, we have a lot at stake in this election. Over the past 4 years, President Obama has done right by students all across the country, but especially students like you and I. You and me, sorry. For instance, allowing students to stay on their parents' health insurance plans means that we have more flexibility when searching for jobs and bringing the care that we need. The president has also been working to make college more affordable. He's doubled Pell Grants and made more investments in financial aid, reformed the student loan system, and eliminated the middleman so that the money that was going to banks is now going to families and students so they can afford school. And more importantly, he has pulled us back from the brink of the worst recession since the Great Depression. And he's made investments for now and for the future so we can have an economy built to last. With so much at stake in this election, we must continue forward on this path. One person who has been leading the way in education, not just as Second Lady of the United States, but also as an educator for the past 3 decades, is Dr. Jill Biden. It is our privilege at Macalester to have her here today. So please join me in welcoming Second Lady of the United States, Dr. Jill Biden.
It's great to be here today, and thank you, Zach, for that great introduction. You gave my whole speech, you know, I got to go sit down. I want to start by thanking everyone here at Macalester for housing us today, for hosting us today. And I want to give a special thank you to all of you students for being here. You know, it's late on a Friday, so I really appreciate it. This morning, I had the honor and the pleasure of having coffee with Vice President Mondale and his wife, Joan. And they couldn't say enough about this college. And I can see why. It is absolutely beautiful. So thank you for being here today. Good to be on a college campus, and actually this is a pretty familiar setting for me. Even though I'm the wife of a vice president, our vice president, I'm a full-time teacher at Northern Virginia Community College, and twice a week I'm working full-time with students just like you. Young people like you inspire me every single day, and I often say that my students are my heroes. Like them, I know that you're learning new skills, exploring new paths, and starting on a new career. I know that you're working hard in your classrooms and having some fun, although you're here on a Friday, so, and you're starting to find your place in the world. It's students like you who make me so excited to be in the classroom. And I want you to know that every single day, our administration is fighting and working for you. President Obama and Michelle often say that they needed financial aid to get through college. It's the same way with our family. Joe and I and our 3 kids could not have gotten through school without grants and loans. And when we look back, we all know where we are today because of the opportunities that we've had in education. That's why Barack and Joe are working so hard to invest in education and make it easier for young people to afford college. You already know some of this, but they've doubled funding for Pell Grants and fought to make sure that student loan interest rates didn't go up. So I want you all to know that the President, the Vice President, and the entire administration believe if we're going to create an economy built to last, and I think that was your phrase, we've got to start by making sure that young people like you can get the skills and the knowledge you need to fulfill your potential. When you graduate, they want to make sure that you can get a good job, maybe own your own home someday, be able to provide for your families on your own, and retire with security, no matter what career you choose. The Vice President were thinking about you when they pushed so hard for health care reform. They wanted to make sure that you couldn't be discriminated against if you have a pre-existing condition like asthma. And they wanted to make sure that you could stay on your parents' insurance plans until you're 26 years old, right when you might need it the most. The President and the Vice President are working hard every day so that all of you, no matter where you came from, what you look like, how much money you make, or who you love, you all have an opportunity to create a better life for yourself. And my husband have got your back, and now we've got to have theirs. That starts with getting registered and getting out the vote on November 6th, and making sure that all your friends do the same. You can find out more information by going to our website, gottaregister.com and gottavote.com. Once you've registered, you need to get out there and make the difference you can. I know that here at Macalester, you've got a tradition of activism. You all know how to get out the vote. So this is the time to show it. We need all of you, all the students for Obama and the Macalester Democrats. We need you out there talking to students on campus and other voters in our community. You can start to move this country forward. I've been involved in more than 10 campaigns, and I know how much of a difference it makes. Just making phone calls or knocking on doors or making sure your friends and your neighbors get to the polls. We need you. So from now until Election Day, we need everything you've got. Finally, I want to end with a story. I don't know how many of you watched the Democratic Convention in North Carolina. I had the chance to introduce my husband, but before I went out on stage, a young woman named Angie told her story to the country. Angie is just 19 years old. She grew up in a family where just getting by was really a struggle. And she never ever thought that college was an option. But Angie was able to enroll in a community college in Florida. I met her earlier this year and I was amazed at how she's already making her mark on the world. She's serving in student government, tutoring other students, and pursuing her dream of giving back to those around her by becoming a social worker. I'm sure that there are many stories just like that here today. And there are millions of young people with hopes and dreams just like Angie across this country. And in this election, we have a choice of whether you're going to tell students like Angie, students like all of you, that you're on your own, or whether we're going to say that we're all in this together and everyone deserves a fair shot. We know where President Obama stands. We know where my husband Joe stands. And this November, I want to ask all of you to stand with them. Because at the end of the day, it's not just the two of them that are going out to move this country forward. It's young people like you who are getting involved and make us so proud, and we'll move this country forward into the future. Thank you so much.